Alex Jones now joins us to discuss the latest in not only this cybersecurity guard and Obama speech, but the latest news on this cop attacking an EMS worker. You know, he's under internal investigation right now. He does seem to be part of this back alley Good Old Boys network, and we know that there are at least 2 cameras that caught this, 2 of the police officer dash cams that they're not releasing, and they're saying, oh, we're waiting for this to go to trial or charges to be filed. Yet they didn't arrest this guy. There aren't any charges to be filed because he didn't do anything, Alex.
Absolutely. That's what's so atrocious about this story is that witnesses are all over the news saying that the ambulance couldn't get traffic to move out of the way. The police wanted to go somewhere as well. So the police began violently getting right on the tail of the ambulance and then shot around the ambulance on the shoulder. And then later when they were done with whatever business it was that they never said, so it must not have been very important, they then chased the ambulance back down, jump out, get in the driver's face, scream and yell at him. He submits, and then they go and open up the back, acting like mad dogs, because, see, once they do wrong, they have to legitimize it by saying you're bad, beating you up, falsely charging you, doing something. It's like when they beat you up after they shoot you in the back. I see this time, or after they break pro-lifers' arms, they then beat them up. You know, they're all. It's not enough to savagely compound fracture them. It's got to continue, and I have footage of all of this. You know, people peacefully sitting on the side of the sidewalk, and this is happening. And I know most police, and I've seen them commenting on Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.com, in the articles that Steve Watson wrote and that Kurt Nimmo posted. I've seen them saying, well, yes, we're not trained to choke people, and we're not trained to act like that, and yeah, that guy should probably get in trouble, but don't think this is all of us. You know, the issue is every time stuff like this happens, the police defend the bad cops that do this, so that makes the entire system bad. And look, Oklahoma is legendary. I don't vacation in Oklahoma. They have great people up there, but I don't vacation in Oklahoma because of how many friends and family I've had shaken down by the police, beat up by the police. I mean, if you're going 1 mile over the speed limit in Oklahoma, many of these rural state police and others will. It's almost like Mexican police in Mexico. And see, I mean, everybody knows they're corrupt down there. We're getting to be known like this here. And so the incredible thing is, they told local news stations that I read on your show last night, 9 to midnight, so there's no sense in you know, going back over them today, but we posted links to them yesterday, that, oh, there was a fight. Oh, the paramedic and the policeman got in a fight. Well, why was the car pulled over? Why is it being called a fight? He does nothing. The cop is attacking him, shoving him, pushing him, grabs him by the arm, starts twisting it behind his back for no reason. The guy pulls his arm away. That is the assault of the God creature. Okay, so this is the mental illness. So he was the guy in the back of the ambulance. He was the attending emergency medical person. And so then the police go to the news and say, well, they'd been in a fight before that, before the cameras were turned on. So, I mean, just insane. But now eyewitnesses are saying, no, everything you see on the tape is basically what happened. And that's why the police realize in their moment of guilt, which just shows they're mad dog out of control. They're not even really evil. They're just out of their minds on a power trip. That's why they finally, after they choke the guy and he sits there and controls himself and lets them torture him, literally that's what torture is, they then kind of shake themselves out of it and leave. But then they come back and say, well, we're probably going to charge you later. Get ready for an indictment. Get ready for a warrant. You know, don't leave town. It's time to admit you're not gods. I'm not a god. I put my pants on one leg at a time. I make mistakes. I'm wrong. I've been young and hot-headed. You know, I don't go around road raging, but when I was younger, when people would road rage me, I'd jump out of the car and say, let's go. And a few times it got bloody. Well, now I just know how to say, yep, you're tough. That's right. And if they, you know, I'll even run from somebody because I've got work to do. I'd love to jump out of the car and start kicking their teeth in because I'm a human being. I got red blood. It's actually fun at a certain level, at an animal level. But I have a wife and children to take care of. I have a mission to complete. And I will only open a can of whoop-ass if I have to protect myself or protect somebody else, and I'm 100% in the right. I'm not looking for a fight. And old-fashioned lawmen or peace officers weren't looking for fights. But I'll tell you this, when they had to charge up the UT Tower, they didn't cower for 3 or 4 hours like they always do now, waiting for federal orders and backup. They didn't need a bunch of fancy gear because they had testicles. And I'm sorry to use that term, but that's what it comes down to. The more gear, the more crud, the more, supposed tactical training, all of this stuff is a joke. And I've talked to a lot of old police, a lot of old retired police about the stories, about the things they did without all this gear, without all this crud. And the truth is they've made the police be against the people. They have turned them against us. They have trained them that they're all under incredible danger, where I've seen cops approaching women, old women in convertibles on 360, highway, like they're approaching Al-Qaeda. And they are scared to death of everything. They think we're the enemy. They think we're out to kill them. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy as they get more and more abusive. We're going to start getting more and more abusive, and the trust is gone, and everything goes to hell in a handbasket. We are all Americans. We live in the same country. This country is going down the tubes in a police state. And the sick part is that the media would come out and try to call this a fight and try to spin this and then let the police sit there with no evidence. And you better believe they would have released this dash video if they had proof. And it's all there. The EMT is in the back trying to attend to the lady, and they're telling him, stop what you're doing. And he's got boxes of equipment. And he just says, what's your problem? I'm doing my job. Get out of my way. And it's about a power trip. Instead of the cop getting control of his ego and going, my God, I've got an ambulance pulled over because they didn't get out of my way. I'm on an ego trip. These guys are professionals. They've had to pass state laws and federal laws to leave ambulances alone. I've been reading the email and the comments. We've had scores of EMTs. I mean, probably more than 50. Go, oh, yeah, cops were pulling us over in Denver. Cops were pulling us over in Dallas. Cops were pulling us over in New York and telling us we couldn't speed. And I mean, there's no even law saying that.
Well, actually,
they're crazy.
as revealed,
they're crazy.
Yeah, as revealed by Dave Jordan, the cop that was the main guy in this incident that now is being internally investigated, also had pulled over an ambulance that contained a pregnant woman. So this is his MO. This isn't the first time he's even pulled over an ambulance, Alex.
Yeah, he's obviously some kind of lunatic. And see, instead of in the past they would just kick lunatics out of the police force. Listen, I know a fellow, manager of a Home Depot. He's been on the show before. Nice, clean cut. No criminal record, paralyzed from the chest down. And the cop pulls him over and says, what is this? And he goes, these are my hand controls. And he said, get out of the car. And he said, officer, okay, my wife's got to get my wheelchair out of the back. And he said, you liar, there's nothing wrong with you. He said, I said, get out now. So the guy starts trying to get out. He grabs him out, beats him up. This guy tried to sue him. And the cop got promoted to a supervisor commander level in Austin. He's a huge roid head. And that's who they want. They go, oh, you beat up a guy who's paralyzed. You're the guy we want. You're the guy that'll follow orders. You're the guy. I mean, this is who they want. This is who they want. I mean, and look, people may think it's cool to beat up somebody who's paralyzed because they don't walk when you order them to. And the mental illness is you didn't learn to, be healed like Jesus healed you or something. You didn't, connect those nerves in your spine to your legs. And so, and their sick thing is he didn't follow my order. He didn't follow my order. I've got to escalate. They're trained to kill you if you don't move. And so that's why we're seeing every day I see an article about a paralyzed person, a retarded person, an autistic person beat up or killed by the police because there'll be some, 16-year-old retarded kid wandering around in Canada or England or the U.S. I see the story every few days. And the cops walk up and say, who are you? Some tattletale Nazi neighbor calls in and says there's a weird person, and they can't talk, and they go, boo, boo, boo. The cop goes, all right, pal, get on the ground. They don't do it. They taser him. The person gets up, scared, starts running. The cop draws down, guns him down.